Hello, Gemini. I am Ulrich. I am a Lenormand card reader, but this time we will use a financial deck for your card reading. The deck contains 44 cards and the laying is done with 3 cards, as you see here in front of me. You can also see 4 objects here on the table, meaning we will do 4 card readings for each astrological sign. And this reading is for the sign of Gemini for the month of August 2021. Now, from these 4 objects, you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your personality or your financial situation that you're currently facing. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos related to the Gemini sign, and after you watched all 4 videos, you can then decide what symbol or object is fitting your personal card reading the best. The matches here represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So Gemini, here we go for your card reading for August 2021. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the shell or the water group for the month of August 2021. The first card we see here is the card of youth. This card asks you, I just go give a quick overview. This card asks you if you are already handling mature with your money, or you're sometimes still don't reflect if you spend money. The second card is a card that you probably are in a situation in your life that is giving you some happiness, because this card means congratulations. So probably you came into some period of your life that you have advancement. And the last card here, it's about the circle of life, that we have certain periods in our lives that require certain expenses. So now we go into the details. The first card here, as I said, is about maturity. So you probably know the saying, boys will be boys and girls just want to have fun. So you have probably used it yourself to justify some financial recklessness that you had in the past. But this card asks you, at what cost? Did you suffer from certain outbursts, or was it still minimized? This is about cash management and the optimization of cash management. It's about awareness, how we handle our money. Normally, this is a process that grows as we get older, and it's part of the circle of life, as we see the circle of life there. And most of us who were aware how to handle money from a young age get quicker control over their consumption habits and their spending habits, compared to those who did not have a similar experience. So this card asks you to reflect where you feel you are right now compared to your peers, compared to your friends, to compare to people around you. Do you consider yourself mature with the way you use money, or are you still sometimes out of control? This card tells you you're never too young to be financially mature, and you're never too old to change your financial behavior. If you have the advantage of youth, at the same time you're financially mature, this card tells you, as we can see next here, that you probably get or are to achieve congratulations. If you, on the other hand, are older and wiser and experienced, this card tells you to use those abilities in your advantage, enjoy life's gifts with moderation, and if you do so, also for you, there will be congratulations or advancement in order soon. So then the next card, as we already said, it's about progress. So you probably reached some level, some level in your finances. This is rather a carefree period that will be going on for a few months, if not years. So this card also tells you that you are the captain of your ship. So you are having this month probably a very good financial period, but this card tells you that, alas, the battle is not over, and it may never be. Every day we must sail our course, and we must see where we are. So also this card tells you, if you have done some achievements, to take a few minutes and to recognize the work that you have done and the efforts. You need to rest, take your breath, and appreciate the road that you have been traveling so far. Because in general, if you reach this card, it has been a long road that brings you eventually closer to the finish line. So savor this month and maybe the weeks to come for your accomplishments, whatever they may be. Give yourself the gift of a well-deserved break and applaud for yourself how far you have come. Now, the last card is about the cycles we have in our life. Each life cycle has challenges. No matter the stage of our life, we have certain expenses that belong in certain periods of our life. For instance, young parents think that after the period of childbirth and infancy, that which is very heavy, they will be financially relieved when this is past. But as we know, it all has certain periods, and even then it's not over, because after the period of childbirth, there comes the puberty, and then it's teenagers with their sports. When they get older, it's university and the accommodations related to university. So you're 20 then, and the expenses for your children are never over, or for yourself also. As you get older, we have certain circles that we have costs, and we face these costs in any period of our life and certain economical challenges. This card tells you not to postpone and go ahead with what you have reached till all your stages are complete. You need to proceed in the road that you have done so far, which according to this card is very good card. So, but it also tells you not to be overjoyous and think about maybe expenses that are to come, that are related to the circle of life. Maybe you're already older, maybe you're younger, and some expenses will be at your doorstep. So it tells you to keep your financial situation clear and continue with making or doing the things that you do that bring you success. So for the sign of Gemini, this is for the water group, this is a quite good lane for this month, but I think this is maybe more on the longer run. So I hope, Gemini, you're happy with this card reading. If you are, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for doing so. And we see each other maybe next time. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Gemini. Excuse me. And welcome to the Aerosol, or the air group, for your card reading for the month of August 2021. Excuse me. The first card we see here, I just make a short overview here. The first card we see here is about automatically saving money. The second card is about the influence that publicity and ads have on us. And the third card is about good or bad debts. So I'm assuming here, Gemini, the air group, that you come in a certain period of your life that you have some stability or you are doing well. This card urges you or asks you if you have some assets to automatically save money, meaning probably at the end of the month you have some money over. And this card tells you to make like an automatic transaction from your account to your savings account. So like a fixed amount every month is that you can incalculate in your budget is going from your business or your working account to your savings account. So it's like an automatic connection that is made between the two accounts, and it's put in your savings account. This card tells you if you do so in a short amount of time, you would be able to gain a certain amount of money and invest that money in something else. For instance, you can create a second source of investments. You can put your money in stocks, safe stocks, or you can invest, for instance, like in secure values, like gold, silver, or whatever you think for yourself is secure. So this is about making savings on the long run. This is like making adjustments for yourself and create an additional source of investments. So according to these cards, you could end up with various reserves before retirement and for your retirement, or savings for your children, for maybe a renovation project here, because I see the house here. So probably in the future, you are planning to do some renovations in the house. So it's possible there that you want to invest some money there. By regularly increasing your savings, you could end up with very good investments here. This is very positive laying. So it asks you to begin a virtuous circle that will lead towards more stability, a better financial situation, and maybe improvements of your own house, your own environment, and the people with you around you, because this is about improvement of the house. The second card here is about publicity. We are daily confronted with internet ads, with ads in our mailbox. We go on the street, we see the buses passing with big ads. So it's everywhere. It's like a bombardment of information. This propaganda, it's everywhere, and it's easy to get lost or get fooled, and we lose our way, what is really essential. This card asks you to carry on and not get lost with gadgets or things that you don't really need. It asks you to focus on your goals. Maybe your goal is a house, maybe your goal is your children, maybe your goal is assets, but it asks you to not let yourself influence from publicity. It asks you to keep your focus. This tells you, if you can, to ignore flyers, ignore things that are related to tech gadgets, to things that we like, to like short entertainment stuff that don't really is a good investment on the long run. It asks you to focus on the bigger picture. This is what this card tells you. It asks you to be critical, take a critical look, and don't get influenced by recent trends, publicity, and you could have a real good advancement in the future for your investment and things that you will do. The last card is about, not only about the house, but it's also about certain debts that we make. There are two kinds of debts. We have good debts and we have bad debts. So I will explain myself. A bad debt is like, for instance, you have a credit card and this credit card is in -0. So it means some credit companies are real sharks and they charge you enormous interests on these credit cards. I think in this lane, this is not the fact, but I just give an example. It asks you if you have something standing out, you need to take care of it. Maybe you have something to attend, there is a debt somewhere, maybe you forgot about it or you don't know anymore, but it's something that costs you more than you think it does. So you need to attend this, and if you have some credit card or some debts, it asks you to balance these debts out so you are rid of them. This is what this card asks you. The positive debts is, this card tells you that if you do additional things in your house and you take additional loans for your house, this is a positive debt. Meaning, as we know now, it's very difficult economical times for most of us. But if you invest in your house, that is a very solid investment. As we know now, the properties of most the properties of most, the value of most properties is going up. So the properties, they gain value. So if you invest in your property, this is a good debt, and it's also deductible from your taxes that you yearly do. So this tells you to take, if you have bad debts, to get rid of them and invest in yourself. So this is like an investment lane for you here, Gemini, for the Air Group. So you need to make advancements in your life, and you make the investments in the right things and not in gadgets. So you need to make a balance here. You will know for yourself where you want to go, but it's important that you can invest in your house and that you start saving money for getting ahead in life. So Gemini, this is a very positive lane for you. For the Air Group, I hope you enjoyed your card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so, and see you maybe next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth Group for the month of August 2021. That is your financial card reading. I first give a quick overview. This is like we need to accept a certain situation that we are in now. And we also need to maybe change the way we spend money. I will declare myself later. The next is about recalculating certain debts that we have. And the third card is about overconsumption. We will put that in context now. So the first card here is like, probably you're in a certain situation now, and you're looking to improve your financial situation. Maybe you're in the lookout for promotions. Maybe you're in the lookout for a better position in your work. But this card tells you you need to accept your situation for what it is today. It tells you, even if you don't get the promotion, which I don't say it will be the case, but even if you get the promotion, this financial advancement that is connected to the job, maybe your salary gets higher, is not going to improve actually your life. I think it is, but this card is about management. It means that you need to get along, if you get the promotion, yes or no, that you need to get along with the means that you have now. We can all aspire to the American dream of wealth, but the point is you need to keep your feet on the ground, and you also need to think about the fact there will always be people that are better off than we are. But also there are people who are much worse off than we, and so are poorer, especially with these difficult economical times that many of us face now. So it's not what you earn that matters with this card. Of course, it's an important, but according to this card, there's something else playing here. It's about how you manage your income. This is what it's about. You must make a balance between your income and your expenses. So, for instance, if you buy something, you can change the way you buy, your buying behavior. Meaning, for instance, instead you buy something brand new, you can buy it on the internet, and you can buy something secondhand with an extensive warranty. Or you can buy something that is very young, still unpacked and in the box. This is what this card tells you. You need to change the way you buy things. Not always necessarily go for new, but if there is a warranty, if there is a security, just go for that also. It's like this card wants to tell you to change your point of view in the way you buy. New is not always better. There are things that we can buy secondhand that go a long way. This is what this card tells. So also, whatever your income may be or your savings, it is your action that will determine with either that you are short of money or that you have savings at the end of the month. So it tells you to improve your daily life with what you have right now. Neither you get a promotion, yes or no. The second card here is about rearranging debts. What does this mean? Well, maybe you have certain loans in your life right now, maybe on your house, and we come in now in a period that is difficult. And in some people have, for instance, a mortgage on their house, and due to the economical situations, these rates on the mortgages are changed. Some of us are in a fixed pattern, others are in a flexible pattern of payments. Meaning, if you are in a flexible or in a fixed, you need to check out your bank if your interest rates did not drop. For instance, if you're in a fixed pattern and you calculate and you see that the interests are severely dropped, sometimes we need to pay like $1,000 or €1,000 for the adjustment of the loan. But in the end, we save 20 or 25,000. The bank will not inform you if the interest drops. So you need to check if you cannot reevaluate your interests. Another example I want to give here is, that's another case. Let's assume you have some open debts, but I think this is not the case, but I will give the example anyway. If you have accumulate several debts in general or on credit cards, you need to take care of them. Don't be discouraged. It's by small amounts, small steps that you get on your feet again. You need to write everything down, the same as the first example I gave, establish priorities, and you must get rid. For instance, if you have several credit cards and you have expenses on these credit cards, you need to get rid of the credit cards with the high interests first. You need to balance these out first, because this card tells us that you pay a lot. This is what this card, it works two ways, or you can save with it, or you pay. So if you are in a debt mode and you have arrears, you need to check, you need to add capital to those expensive cards and balance them out so you can get rid of them. This is what this card tells you. If you would be in a debt mode, you need to stop spending more money and pull yourself together and get out of this difficult situation. But this is only option 2. So both are possible here. Then when you have reduced these debts, you will be able to adjust your life. And in the other option, you will be also. Remember the 2 examples I gave here. The second card is about overconsumption. What does this mean? Well, we live in a world of overconsumption. Everything is for sale. We are daily confronted with advertisements, and sometimes for some of us, it's difficult to make a distinction between the necessities and the luxuries. This card asks you to rethink that. Also, our needs have changed. In 30 years ago, a smartphone was not part of our basic needs. For many of us, this is now a basic need. Half of our life is in this cell phone, internet access, and things that are going with the internet. Our society has changed and evolved. Essentials have been replaced. So this card asks you to make an evaluation of your real needs within the society. If there are things that you can no longer use, you need to get rid of those. Maybe you will have certain subscriptions, maybe you have things that you no longer use and you still pay for, you need to get rid of those. Also, if you would be the type that consumes a lot, this asks you to reevaluate. If you are like a person who has impulsive consumption, you need to restrict yourself more. And this card tells you also that this consumption will not make you necessarily happier. You need to ask yourself, are you more happier than your ancestors, or are you just buying for a short period of happiness, just for the bought of the moment, just for like an instant that you feel happy, or you want something on the long run. This warns you for not to be a hyper consumer, so not to be blind for the reality of life. So determine what is your minimum needs and make a balance, and especially get rid of the non-essential expenses. It asks you here, this card, would you really be unhappy if some things out of your life disappear? This card tells you to live according to your needs and see where you are. Your wallet will be better off if you get rid of things that you don't need. The second card here, if you have certain debts, get rid of them. If you have positive debts on your house, double check them if you cannot make profits by recalculation in your bank, because your bank will not inform you. And then the first card is that we change the way we buy things. See if you cannot make some profits on buying used things, secondhand things with an extensive warranty. So Gemini, for the month of August for the Stone Group, this is all for now. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so, and see you maybe next time. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the Matches or the Fire Group for your card reading of August 2021. The first card that we see here is a card about deals. I just give a short oversight here. So this is about deals. If something is in promotion and you don't really need it, you need to take at it with a critical look. The second card here is about things are changing in our current society financially, and you need to follow up in these evolutions. And the last card here is about recalculating of certain debts that we possibly have, but we will see it all in context. So the first card here that we see here is about deals. Probably you like to chase, some people like to chase for the satisfaction of discount articles, and maybe you're one of these people who like to buy things in liquidations or big discounts. The question is if you need this object or this piece of clothing or something else that is not so important for you, if you really need this. Maybe it's a small amount, it's ridiculous, and you think, okay, I just buy this gadget and it costs not much. But understand, every time you buy a discounted item, first, you don't know if you really get a good deal. You need to double check the price, because sometimes it's discounted and it's not really discounted. That's the first. And then the second question is, do you really need it? So it asks you not to be overwhelmed and bewitched by sales discounts. So it asks you to keep your head cool. It asks you also to evaluate this discount, and maybe if you don't, you will spend more than you anticipated. And is it really necessary? That's the question, of course, here that is pops up. Also, it tells you if you are a person who buys in bulk, just be aware that some articles who you buy in bulk have expire dates. So just see that you don't find yourself at the end of the month or at the end of the expire date giving it away to your neighbors, your friends. So the question then is, did you really economize? So this is what this card also tells us. It tells us to have a realistic perspective on our expenses. So don't overflow your house with items that you don't really need. Don't put your stockroom full of things that you will later bring to recycling. It asks you to open your eyes and ignore discounts, liquidations, and that your wallet will improve if you do so. The second card here is about evolutions. So progress is part of life. We all know that. And some decades are not as the other. 20 years ago, you would find it very unusual to pay for services we pay now gladly for each month. For instance, one of these services is the internet. So meaning our needs are increasing, and therefore sometimes we must eliminate what was essential in the past and today is no longer important or applicable. For instance, you have a cell phone, but you also have a landline. Do you receive any calls at home? Do you really need your landline? If you don't, just cancel the number if you don't use it. Do you listen to broadcasts? Do you watch broadcasts on your channels, the channels that you pay for on TV, or do you watch TV on the internet? If you no longer use your TV, you can connect your TV to the internet and you are in the same off, and you don't need, for instance, your subscription anymore for the classic channels. Of course, there are exceptions if you are interested in different, but then you can adjust the situation. This card asks you to reevaluate your things. For instance, also newspapers. If you have newspapers, can you not read it online? So maybe the paper version is 40 to 50% more expensive. And if you read online, you have no expenses. You can buy, for instance, like a book, a read book, and download it there. And that one you can hold in your hands also if you are the type that likes to hold things. So then we continue. It asks you to stop these expenses and review your monthly payments. Ask yourself, are you spending to the right things to the current situation? So the next card is about recalculation of debts. This is a double card. It asks you, I will give two explanations, but you will understand what applies on you, or the two possible. Maybe there's a third, but I will give two. So here, it can mean, for instance, if you have a mortgage on your house, we are in a very difficult financial situation now, worldly, and some interests maybe on your mortgage have dropped. If you are in a fixed rate for your mortgage, due to that the rates have dropped, if you calculate your rates and they actually drop, you could make big savings by letting your mortgage recalculate. Maybe the recalculation, it costs you 1,000, 2,000 euro or dollar. But if you do this recalculation, in return, you get 25,000 back. So this card asks you to check up if you cannot recalculate some interests related to your house or your mortgages. This is what this card tells you. The bank will not inform you from these things. Some banks keep very quiet because it's nicely an adjustment and a nice source of additional income to their regular income. They will not inform you of this. Some bankers will be honest to you, but most of them, they will just keep silent. So be aware of this. The other possibility here is that you have certain credit cards that ask for your attention, meaning some credit cards, mostly the flexible ones, are very easy to let you distribute money. Mostly these are the ones with the highest interests, and they are astronomical amounts if you didn't pay back in a certain period. These credit charges that they let you pay it's really like sharking. So you need to be very careful with this card here. It's best to get, if you have so, to check what is your interest rates on your cards, and you need to get rid of the expensive ones. You need to fill this with cash, and so that this card is outbalanced. And with the rest, you can put in your other accounts. This tells you to double check what you pay. If you would be in that mode, you must also, this card urges you to reevaluate the way you spend. Take charge of your financial situation. Don't spend what is not necessary. Once you have reduced certain debts, you will be able to loosen up your lifestyle. So this card tells you to take action. Both of the examples I gave are in your advantage. So what does this tell us? Ignore discounts. Just take care of yourself and ignore discounts and things that you don't need. Go along with the times and annulate things that you don't need. Same here. So this is a card for re-evaluating your budget. So Gemini, for the fire group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for doing so, and see you maybe next time. Bye-bye for now.